Hello friends, I am Sharanraj and I am studying in 9th class of Gani Classes Theory. Today I am going to do a seminar on the chapter lines and angles. So first, if we want to know what are angles, then we need to know what are lines. If we want to know what are lines, then we need to know what is a point. Can anyone of you tell me what is a point?
Point is indivisible dot.
Okay, can anyone of you tell me what is a cell?
Cell is a functional structure of a living organism.
Basically, cell is a building block of every living organism. Similarly, a point is a building block of every geometrical figure. Basically, simply if we tell what is a point is a dot drawn by a sharp pencil. Imagine that it is a sharp pencil. So this is a point. Now, if I place many more points endlessly on both sides, then I will get another geometrical figure called as line. A line is a geometrical one-dimensional figure which has length endlessly on both sides. Means it does not have a definite length and extends endlessly on both sides. Next comes a line segment. If I cut the both the and add two endpoints to the line, then I will get another geometrical figure called as a line segment. Basically, a line segment is a part of line which has two endpoints on both sides and extends endlessly and does not extend endlessly and has a fixed length. Next comes a ray. A ray is a part of line which has an endpoint on one side and extends endlessly on other side. So this is a ray. This is a part of line and which has one endpoint and extends endlessly on other side. Next comes collinear points. Now collinear points means if three or more points lie on the same line. For example, this is line AB. So here I have marked 3 points C, D, E. So we can say that C, D, E are collinear points. If three or more points does not lie on a line, then they are called non-collinear points. Next comes an angle. An angle. So what is an angle? If two rays have a common endpoint, then the geometrical figure so formed is called as an angle. Means two rays. For example, I have taken here ray OA and another ray which has a endpoint OB. So here, if two rays having common endpoint, here I have taken two rays OA and OB, they have common endpoint tau, and two rays called OB and OA. Here the common endpoint is called as the vertex of angle, and the rays making the angle are called the arms of angle. So we have learnt about many angles from our previous classes. There are many types of angles. First is acute angle. Acute angle is an angle which is greater than 0 degree and less than 90 degree. Means, for example, I have taken here 45 degree. So 45 degree is greater than 0 degree and less than 90 degree. So this is an acute angle. Next comes right angle. So right angle means the angle which is exactly equal to 90 degree. So this is an right angle. Next comes obtuse angle. The angle which is greater than 90 degree and less than 180 degree is called obtuse angle. So here I have taken one angle 135 degree. So 135 degree is greater than 90 degree and less than 180 degree. So it is an obtuse angle. Next, another comes straight angle. So the straight angle means the angle which is exactly equal to 180 degree. So next comes reflex angle. So reflex angle means the angle which is greater than 180 degree and less than 360 degree is called as reflex angle. So I have taken here 350 degree. It is greater than 180 degree and less than 360 degree. So it is an reflex angle. Next comes another angle called complete angle. So complete angle means the angle which is exactly equal to 360 degree. So it is exactly equal to 360 degree. So it is an complete angle. So there are many other types of angles such as adjacent angle. Adjacent angles. What are adjacent angles? So two angles having a common arm and a common endpoint and their non-common arm on the different sides of common arm are called adjacent angles. Means here I have taken two angles. So I have taken two angles, angle OAC and angle CAB. So adjacent angle means the two angles should have a common endpoint. Means here we have common endpoint to both angles A, and it should have a common arm. Means here in angle OAC and CAB there is a common arm AC. So it should have common arm and their non-common arms. Here non-common arms are AB and OA. So they should be on different sides. Means but they should not be on the same side. So this is the property of an adjacent angles. So we can say that angle OAC is adjacent to angle CAB. Now tell me, angle OAB angle OAB is it adjacent to angle OAC? If yes, why, and if not, why? Correct? No. So let it be, I will do it. So the adjacent angles means two angles should have a common endpoint and then common arm and their non-common arms on the either side. If I have taken here angle OAB, here angle OAB, I am saying that angle OAB is adjacent to angle OAC. So here angle OAB and angle OAC have a common point and then common arm OA. But the difference is that in adjacent angles the non-common arms should be on different sides. But here the non-common arms AC and AB are on the same side of the common arm. So angle OAB is not adjacent to angle OAC. So next comes linear phase. So what are linear pairs? The adjacent angles whose non-common arm forms a line are called linear pairs. Means here here angle OAC is adjacent to CAB, and also the non-common arms OA and AB are forming a line. So this is the property of linear pairs. The adjacent angles whose non-common arms forms a line, then they are called linear pairs. And also one more thing, that if linear pairs are forming a line, then the sum of angles should be 180 degree. Means angle OAC plus angle CAB should be equal to 180 degree. So next comes intersecting lines. Then what are intersecting lines? If two lines passes through each other, then the geometrical figures so formed are called intersecting lines. Means I have taken here two lines, line L and line M. So line and L and M are intersecting lines because they are meeting at a point O, so they are called intersecting lines.
Only one common point.
Next comes parallel lines. So next comes parallel lines. The lines that never get intersected, then they are called parallel lines. Means I have taken here line L and line M. So they never get intersects, then they are called parallel lines. So next comes complementary angles. So what are complementary angles? If the sum of two angles is equal to 90 degree, then they are called complementary angles. For example, so here angle AOB is 45 degree and angle CDE is equal to 45 degree. Then the sum of these two angles is 90 degree. So we can say that angle AOB is complement to angle CDE. Now tell me, what is the complement angle of angle AOB if angle AOB is equal to 60 degree? What is the complement angle for angle AOB if angle AOB is equal to 60 degree?
No, not fair. 30.
So answer is 30 degree. Means angle AOB plus angle X equals to 90 degree. So if angle AOB is 60 degree plus we don't know angle X equals to 90 degree, then angle X equals to 90 minus 60 degree. So angle X equals to 30 degree. So we can say that the complement angle of angle AOB, if angle AOB is 60 degree, is 30 degree. So next comes supplementary angles. So what are supplementary angles? If the sum of two angles is exactly equal to 180 degree, then they are called supplementary angles. For example, I have taken here 90 degree and another angle also 90 degree. So the sum of these two angles is 180 degree. So we say that angle AOB is supplement to angle BOC. So next comes transversal. So what is a transversal? If a line intersecting two or more lines at distinct points, then then the line is called transversal. For example, so here I have taken two lines, line P and line Q. So here line L is intersecting two lines P and Q at distinct points. So we can say line L is transversal. So here line P will not be transversal because it intersecting only one line. So here comes another property such as corresponding angles, alternate angles, and interior angles on the same side of transversal. Here angle 1 and angle 5 are called corresponding angles. So here angle 1 and angle 5 and also angle 2 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7 and angle 4 and angle 8 are called corresponding angles and alternate interior angles. So here angle 3 and angle 6 and angle 4 and angle 5 are called alternate interior angles, and these angles are formed inside the lines, so they are called alternate interior angles. So angle 3 and angle 6. So angles 4 and angle 5, angle 3 and angle 6 are called alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles. So here angle 1 and angle 8 and angle 2 and angle 7 are called alternate exterior angles. So angle 1 and angle 5 are called corresponding angles. Angle 3 and angle 6 are called alternate interior angles. Angle 1 and angle 8 are called alternate exterior angles. And another angle which comes are interior angles on the same side of transversal. Means the angle should be interior and they should be on same side of transversal. Here line L is a transversal and angle 3 and angle 5 are angles which are formed on the same side of transversal. So here interior angles on the same side of transversal are angle 3 and angle 5 and angle 4 and angle 6. So here all this should not play an important role when the transversal is intersecting two lines which are already intersecting, but it plays an important role when a transversal is intersecting two parallel lines. Means So here I have taken two parallel lines, line P and line M. So here line P is parallel to line M and line L is transversal. So here the properties which occur here are the corresponding angles, means angle 1, angle 5, angle 2, angle 6, angle 3, angle 7 and angle 4 and angle 8 are always equal. Means angle 1 is equals to angle 5, angle 2 equals to angle 6, angle 3 equals to angle 7, angle 4 equals to angle 8. And also alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles are also equal. And also interior angles so formed on the same side of transversal, means angle 3, angle 5, angle 4 and angle 6. If we add angle 3 and angle 5, we will get 180 degree. And also here if we add angle 4 and angle 6, we also get 180 degree. So another property is that if two lines intersect each other, here I have taken two lines, line M and line L. They are intersecting each other. So here I have taken angle X, angle Y, angle Z, angle P. Now here angle X equals to angle Y and also angle Z equals to angle P. Means the angles so formed oppositely in when two lines intersect each other, then they are called vertical opposite angles. We write VOA in short form. So they are always equal. What is the proof? So here angle X plus angle Z equals to 180 degree, because here we are getting a linear pair. And also angle Y, angle X plus angle P is also equals to 180 degree, because here we are getting a linear pair. So by equating this both equations, so here we can cancel angle X and angle X. So we will get angle Z equals to angle P. So here these are vertical opposite angles. So these are equal, we have proved here. So similarly we can also prove that angle X equals to angle Y. So the vertical opposite angles so formed when two lines intersect each other are called as vertical opposite angles, and they are always equal. So next comes angle sum property of a triangle. So if we need to know what is angle sum property of a triangle, we need to know first what is a triangle. Can any of you tell me what is a triangle?
Triangle has three sides.
Okay. So triangle is a geometrical closed figure which is a two-dimension and which has three straight sides. Means it is a geometrical closed figure. So it is a closed figure and it should has two dimension. So here length, and here we can also write height, and also it should have three straight sides. So here AB, BC and AC are three straight sides. Now, so what is the angle sum property of a triangle? Means now what is the sum of angles in any triangle? So sum of all angles in any triangle is equals to 180 degree. So here we need a proof. So first we need to draw a line parallel to line BC. So here naming the angles. So here angle P equals to angle X, because if we extend this side, we get a previously solved that it is a transversal intersecting two parallel lines. So here angle P and angle X will become alternate interior angles and they are always equal. So angle P equals to angle X. and angle Q is also equals to angle Y because of alternate interior angles. So angle P plus angle Q plus angle Z equals to 180 degree because we are getting a straight angle. So we already know angle P is equals to angle X and angle Q equals to angle Y. We can write angle P as angle X plus angle Y plus angle Z equals to 180 degree. So angle X, angle Y and angle Z are nothing but the angles, interior angles of the triangle. So the sum of three interior angles of the triangle are equals to 180 degree. So another angle sum property is that the another property says that if you extend any side of a triangle endlessly, then the exterior angle so formed is always equal to the sum of interior two opposite angles. Means I have extended the side BC. Here exterior angle I name it Z, not J. So angle J is always equals to interior opposite angles, means angle X plus angle Z. So here first, if we need to know that why is this happening, we need to know proof that angle J plus angle Y equals to 180 degree because here we are getting a linear pair. And also we know that interior angles, sum of interior angles of any triangle is equals to 180 degree. So angle X plus angle Y plus angle Z equals to 180 degree. So by taking this equation, both equations, then we will get angle J plus angle Y equals to angle X plus angle Z. So here we can get a common thing that in both LHS and RHS there is angle Y. So I will cancel both of them. So I will get angle J equals to angle X plus angle Z. Means if you extend any exterior angle of a triangle, then the exterior angle so formed is always equal to sum of interior two angles. So we proved it, and hope you got the concept, and thank you for watching the video.